Does the Bible teach of an everlasting punishment in hell for the unbelievers?
Question is, does the Bible teach an everlasting punishment in hell for unbelievers? The word everlasting and the word eternal are words that are found in the scripture with reference to punishment in a couple of places. The Greek word is aionios, which is usually traditionally translated eternal or everlasting, although its actual meaning is very much under discussion by Greek scholars, and not all have settled on an actual meaning for that word. The traditional meaning is inadequate. But yes, the word aionios is used with reference to punishment in Matthew 25:41, or rather Matthew 25:46. The word aionios is in both those verses, but the first one just talks about aionios, or everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his angels. And the second of those verses, the last verse in Matthew 25, says, "These shall go away to everlasting punishment." So there is reference to everlasting punishment. However, Paul in 2 Thessalonians chapter 1 and verse 9 says that Jesus will punish those who don't believe in the gospel that is coming. Jesus will punish them with everlasting destruction from the presence of the Lord. Now, what does that mean? There are some people who believe that everlasting destruction just means a destruction that is permanent, so that when Jesus comes back, he really just annihilates the sinners. He doesn't torment them forever, but they experience a punishment or a destruction that's everlasting, and it comes from the presence of the Lord. That is, from his brightness of his appearing. Paul also says in the same epistle that the man of sin will be destroyed by the brightness of Christ's appearing. So from the presence of the Lord there comes this destruction of the wicked, which is everlasting. Destruction may mean annihilation, or it may not. There are times when destruction just means ruin, and it doesn't mean the end of a thing, but the ruin of a thing. But there are many who believe that this everlasting destruction or everlasting punishment is a punishment that has everlasting results. Some have pointed out that it doesn't say there's everlasting punishing, as if the punishing itself is going on forever, but it's an everlasting punishment. That is, a punishment that lasts forever. So if, for example, a person was annihilated, that as their punishment, and it's irrevocable, it's incurable, they never come back, it's everlasting, it's permanent, in other words. So there is just these two passages that talk about everlasting punishment or everlasting destruction. Now in the book of Revelation, there's a couple of passages that talk about torment forever and ever in the lake of fire. This is something that is said to take place for the dragon and the beast and the false prophet in Revelation chapter 20. And also, there is said in Revelation 14:11 that there are some who will worship the beast and will experience the punishment of fire and brimstone, and the smoke of their torment will ascend forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night. These are images in Revelation that sound like they're describing unending torment, conscious torment. One of the difficulties with Revelation, of course, is that it is a book written in symbols. So which images to take literally becomes a matter of opinion, and in some cases just boils down to one's own intuitive understanding of those things. As I understand the book of Revelation, the lake of fire and the everlasting punishment is said to apply to non-human entities as well as human entities. I mean, the dragon is a non-human entity. I believe the beast and the false prophet are not references to human individuals, although obviously the popular view is that they are. I think not. Death and Hades are certainly not human entities, and yet they are also punished and in the lake of fire. At the end of the book of Revelation, the bad guys all end up in the lake of fire. And in saying about some of them, it doesn't say this about the humans who are thrown there, but the devil and the beast and the false prophet, it says they will be tormented day and night forever and ever. That could be literal or not. It may have the effect sort of like we end some of our happy endings stories. They lived happily ever after. It doesn't really mean they literally lived forever, but it meant, all turned out well, permanently. And so one could say that, the devil and these other non-human entities seen thrown into the lake of fire, they lived miserably ever after, so to speak, as simply an impressionistic way of talking about the victory and the righting of wrongs that will take place. I personally think that the Bible is not clear on the subject of whether the suffering in hell is everlasting or not.